All right, today we are going to create a mail merged document. And the reason you'd want to do that is to save yourself tons of time by having Word do the work for you and placing people's names into something like a letter that you would send out. And so if you had like 200 members in some sort of group, you could easily set up a mail merge and you wouldn't have to um, put their name into the onto each separate document. And so it'll save you a lot of time and you'll see how it works as we go along and understand it more as we go. So to do that, we're going to follow these main 4 steps, and um, these will be true for when it's done in probably 5 or 10 years. And so the concepts will always be very similar, and just the details are what we'll go through now. So first, create a list of data, and this will be usually in Excel. It's nice to have it in Excel because then you can use it for other things. You can do sorting, you can do a lot of things. You can make one in Word, but this will be more useful uh, for what we're doing. In this, I have one already pre-made as an example, and for class we'll make one. But the main part to go through right now is that the zip code, that in all things you can, in your cells, you can format them. So if you go to format cells in the zip code area, once you get to it, there is a specific area for zip codes, and it will not hold the 0 at the beginning of it if you do not format it to be. It's either special or custom. All right, and we have it up now, and so it is in the special area. So special and zip code are there, and we have our zip code. So from here, when you finish this, you want to make sure and save it. And a good idea is to save it as whatever term and then data. So here we're going to have practice data, and we'll be saving 2 other documents that we'll need to keep straight. So practice data, we'll save this as, and then we'll go to the second step, connect it to your Word document. So I'm going to make a new Word document. And we're going to do this in business letter format as well. So we need to set the top margin to be 2 inches. Just going to hit 2 and enter. And so we start out with the date, and I'm just going to put in today's date, but you'll actually type it out. A quadruple space, so we're going to hit it 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 blank lines in between. And here we're at the point where we can connect it. And so we'll go up to our mailings, which makes sense because we're doing a mail merge. And you could do it through the wizard, but we're going to go straight to select recipients and an existing list. You could type it in Word, but we're going to use an existing one because we already did it in Excel. And then you're going to have to browse and find that document that we just saved, the practice data. And I found it. I'm just going to select that. And now it's going to ask you what sheet you have it in. And most Excel documents have everything in the first sheet and don't use multiple. In this case, it's the same thing. It's in sheet 1. And before we do that, you'll notice that up top we have a lot of grayed out selection areas. And when we hit OK and connect it with that, those are going to now come available. And so, as we've put in our inside address for the business letter, we now have these fields that we're going to use because it's going to change with each document what name goes in, and you'll see what that means. So first we want title, and there's many ways of putting these in fast, but I'm going to put my spaces while I'm doing it. So title first, space, last, next line. We have the address by itself, or the street address. And the last line is going to get all of them, the city. And remember, we want a comma, space, state, space, and the zip code, going from most broad to the most specific. Now a double space, the greeting, Dear, and we're going to go to keep it formal. This is a business letter. We're going to go title, space, last name. And if it were a informal letter, comma, but in this case we want a colon. All right, now double space, and I'm just going to go very short. The body, different paragraphs of the body are going to get double spaces. For example, there, it's a double space for our closing with the comma. And now with the business letter meant for hard copy to be signed, we go quadruple space before we put in the signature. And you wouldn't put a Mr. in here, but just doing it for the classroom here. And from there, it gives you room to sign it literally in this area to keep it very formal. And below this person, myself here, you can put a title. And titles will go directly below. They will not be double spaced below the person. And so you could just have and the title, and you can even have more detail with that. All right, and if we need anything below that, we can enter if someone typed it for me using the initials, whoever that might be, and we might have an enclosure. So here we have our business letter laid out for what we have, and now we want to save this as our main because it is our main document. And I'm just going to call it practice main. I might have one already as that. We'll replace it. And now if we're satisfied with our letter that we want to send out to everyone in our mailing list that we have in Excel, in this case it wouldn't be worth it if we just had these 4, but we might have, we're assuming that we have tons of them. We're going to finish it, and to do that you'll go to the finish and merge and edit individual documents because we want each individual document. So we'll do that. We do want all of them in this case. You don't have to get all of them if you didn't want them. And now it, as you can see, placed their names accurately into the business letter. And so a different person each page puts them in correctly. And you can kind of see probably from this the time-saving possibilities that you could have. So we have this one. This we're going to save as practice final. And that is our mail merge.